Can you drive after a second DUI? Yes. Well, maybe. It kind of depends. Under a new law in North Carolina, there may be relief available for some folks, but it tends to be pretty case specific, and basically because it's a new law, no one really quite knows how it's going to work out. From the outset, it's important to consider one overarching principle, or perhaps better said, one person who cannot be ignored: the judge. Limited driving privileges for DWI charges signed by judges are discretionary in nature. That's always been the case. The judge decides, and getting the sign off on a new kind of privilege that hasn't been allowed for, well, at least as long as I've been practicing law, will likely take some explaining and maybe some education. Enter the Level 2 Limited Driving Privilege. While I'll go into some detail, I've always said the best way to get up to speed on driving privileges is to look at the form. Look at what's on the face of the Limited Driving Privilege. All of them pretty much explain the basics. Okay, before you say, yeah, no duh, Bill, there isn't a privilege form out there. I've looked. Well, yes, there is, and I have one for you. I'll include a link below where you can now download the new AOC CR 347 form that's called the Interlock Limited Driving Privilege, Impaired Driving, with impaired driving conviction in preceding 7 years, NC convictions only. Boy, that's a mouthful. For you daily in-court types, you'll recognize some of the basics. First, you have to obtain and file with the court a substance abuse assessment, and the court must be satisfied that the applicant is financially responsible. Think DL 123. The other new conditions are very similar to what you've seen in the past, but can be a little bit of a mouthful to get through. Here are the other conditions. 1. The applicant has been convicted of impaired driving under 20-138.1. 2. At the time of the offense, the applicant held either a valid driver's license or a license that had been expired for less than 1 year. 3. At the time of the offense, the person did not have an alcohol concentration of 0.15 or more. 4. At the time of the offense, the applicant had within the preceding 7 years been convicted of not more than one offense of impaired driving. 5. Punishment level 3, 4, or 5 has been imposed upon the applicant for the offense of impaired driving, or punishment level 2 has been imposed and the grossly aggravating factor determined to impose punishment level 2 was grossly aggravating factor provided in 20-179C1. 6. Subsequent to the offense, the applicant has not been convicted of or had any unresolved charge lodged against the applicant for an offense involving impaired driving. 7. The records of the Division of Motor Vehicles and the Clerk of Superior Court in this county have been searched, and there are no other revocations in effect at the time. So there you go. Now you know what's needed for a Level 2 DUI Limited Privilege in North Carolina. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And if you have questions, give me a ring. We'll work through this together.